following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations.
A very good evening, and you are joining us on another episode on Business Best, and this is a platform where we showcase the best in the business, and we will be introducing to you people who have excelled in a particular field in order to showcase their latest developments in their respective industry. Now today on the show we are going to talk about another online platform where they enable you to conduct your online workshops, lectures, meetings and so on. But I'm pretty sure that you all have heard about Microsoft Teams or Zoom per se, but this one is a little bit more advanced than that. So to give us more details on this, we have Shenal Vanderwall, who is the founder of Meeedly. Shenal, thank you so much for taking the time to join me on the show today.
Thank you, Shenali, for having me.
Okay, so without further ado, would you tell our viewers about what Meeedly is?
Sure. So Meeedly is a software add-on that can be used with Microsoft Teams, Zoom or Google Meet. So what we do basically, when you have 20 to 30 people in a meeting, it becomes very difficult to understand how people engage in your meeting, right? So what we have built a software that can understand the engagement of other people in the meeting. It can inform the host about how they engage with the meeting. So that's what we do with Meeedly.
Okay, so I believe that that's going to be a bummer for the students. They won't be able to watch YouTube or whatsoever during their lectures. But then that's a really good idea because entrepreneurs also can monitor the engagement of their employees during meetings and workshops and so on. So what are the problems that Meeedly does solve?
So for example, if you take this problem back into corporates and business industry, so if you have 20 people in one meeting, and as an average, people spend about 15 to 20 minutes as a time waste, right? So in a 2-hour meeting. So Meeedly can actually identify that 20 minutes hour waste, and we can help businesses productively save that time and conduct a meeting fast and efficiently. So let's go back into a corporate that has like 2,000 employees. So if you have 2,000 employees, where it means like you conduct at least 500 online meetings as an average per day, right? So if you multiply that by a number of 15 minutes that you're actually wasting in a 1 to 2 hour meeting, we can help them solve multiple hours, which comes to total of 1,300 hours per day from 2,000 to 3,000 employees, right? So when you take 2,000 employees, if you take that as hours, how many hours people actually work per day, it's 8 hours, right? And out of that, 2 hours I spend on a meeting, right? So out of 16,000 work hours, 1,300 hours are wasted on a 15 minutes problem, right? So we can help them tackle that problem, apply Meeedly as a solution to increase that time waste and efficiently save that time.
How exactly does the software work? Does it give like a graph or any statistics to the conductor?
Sure. So Meeedly appears on your meeting platform, in your right side of the meeting platform as external add-on that you can add into Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. That will showcase you insight of the other people engagement through indication of draft, through indication of progress bar, and provide you tips. Okay, this person needs much more attention than the other person, so people can efficiently pick up the person who needs more attention. They can deliver the message, or maybe they can change the delivery method.
This can be done for each and every individual who joins the meeting?
Yes, if you have like 100 people, the platform identifies 100 people separately. It will process the data and then it will inform the host about different approach that they can take.
Ah, that's great.
Sure.
So do you have a target market that you're looking at?
Sure. So Meeedly currently looking at the corporate companies that has more than 500 people working, because we understand that there's a fundamental problem that happens when you have multiple people, right? So for a small company, it's like 25 people, 20 people companies, like they don't really see the problem. But if you go into a company with big heavy workforce, right? And that is where you actually start spending time to understand this, right? So if you have like 2,000 employees, let's take 2,000 employees, right? And 2,000 employees, that 1,300 hours that is wasted on meetings, right? That will cost you about 3.9 million if you pay about 3,000 rupees an average per person, right? And that will cost you end of the 5 days of working time. It's like a 70 million rupee problem for a big company, right? So Meeedly can efficiently help you that invest that money and get the best out of the meetings, online meeting conducted, right? So that is the approach we take for Meeedly.
Okay, so basically you focus on the corporates
Sure,
at the moment.
Yeah. So right now we have more focus on the corporate than smaller companies. We see a massive scale for the company as we move on to corporates.
Have you all tried reaching out to schools or universities to incorporate this?
We actually did over the last 3 months of time. We reached out to I think maybe 30 to 40 schools. We had a massive reach out back in 3 months ago because of the corona situation and all this. But now they have gone back to physical classrooms
Right.
environment, right? So they don't really find a use case of that, but we are very positive once we integrate this solution into Microsoft Teams, which we are right now, that they can get the best out of their online lectures as well, right? But more going back to the same question, we are more focused on corporates because we are pretty confident that we can solve this problem for them.
How many clients do you have so far? Did you expect this number of demands to reach you as
Sure.
soon as you initiated?
Sure. So right now, if you take this entire problem, that will cost companies about 37 billion dollars worldwide because of unproductive online meetings, right? So if we go into the market, we are currently looking at Sri Lankan market as well as USA market and Singapore, right? Because we have external support for us to reach into the market right now. So we are currently roughly talking about at least 20 to 30 million dollars of market that we can actually tackle, and we are very sure that there's no product in the market right now that can cater this problem the way how we do it, because we understand the importance of having information real time. So that is the market we are looking at right now.
All right. So if I'm not mistaken, you have launched this product just 6 months
Six
ago.
months, six
you
months
have
ago.
been in operation for 6 months. Do you think that you launched this at the right time? Because I feel that if you had launched it a little bit earlier during the COVID
Yeah.
time, you would have got much more demand.
Yeah, so I actually started this as a research back in my college, right? I was having physical lectures and then we had to transform into online lectures. So I started that as a research back in that time, so 2020, 2022.
Right.
That was the time. And then my lecturer was like, hey, look, you can actually propose this as a research, right? So, and then we did the research, and then that took some time for us to do the research. We published that research on Silicon Valley conference. We actually published the research as well. So then after, I'm like, okay, I have the product ready now. I actually built a prototype back then as well, just for me to showcase other people about the problem, right? Because myself, I'm a software engineering graduate. I can pretty much build good technologies in Sri Lanka, right? So what I did, I created a very basic prototype, and I just published that on LinkedIn. Overnight, we hit 100,000 views on LinkedIn. So then people started reaching out to us, and they were like, okay, hey, look, we can fund you. You just get started. And that's the story behind the delay for the launch in the product, right? But luckily we are right now in the MVP level, so I'm pretty confident we can distribute the product into Microsoft Teams as well.
Okay, so as a young entrepreneur, was it difficult for you to get into the market? What sort of support did you get? I'm pretty sure you would need a team to like launch the product. So
Sure. So actually right now we are a 4-team company. We are a private limited company, a registered entity in Sri Lanka, and we are on the process of incorporating the company in USA as well at this moment. The time when I started it, I really didn't need much workforce to get the product to the flow, right? So because I had the skills that I needed to implement it. But you realize when you move in as a prototype to MVP product, that you need much more skills than that. So that's where we actually started recruiting new people and actually taking an investment from a company. So right now we are a funded company, fully funded company, and we closed our pre-seed level as well. We are going into the seed level. So we are funded from a company called Hatch. It's an accelerator program here at Sri Lanka. We are also part of a UNDP program that conducted Connect 2022 from last year, and we are also very keen on accelerating forward.
Okay, so Shenal, what is your final vision as a young entrepreneur?
So my initial problem was, as a student, you face so much struggle when you participate in online lectures. Assume you're a productive person, you want to learn a lot of new technologies and you participate so hard, maybe 20 people distract the classroom, right? And that was my problem initially, right? Because I'm so hard trying to learn it and other people maybe trying to distract it. So that caused a lot of delay in the meeting, in my lecture, right? So we were initially wasting about 30 minutes trying to explain people who didn't catch up something, right? So that was my initial problem. And I go into the market, I realize, okay, look, fundamentally there's a problem that businesses face, right? And I can perfectly solve that problem with Meeedly, right? So that was the initial conversation I had, and that is my vision. I think we can solve this problem very efficiently for companies as well as for education sector. So that's my vision for Meeedly.
Okay, Shenal, thank you for that insight. But before we continue our discussion, we have to go into a short commercial break. You're watching Business Best, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back to Business Best, and we are in discussion with Shenal Vanderwall, the founder of Meeedly. Shenal, in the first segment, you explained to us about what Meeedly is about and the functions that is there in it, and also about your vision and mission with Meeedly. Now, coming back to your startup, now, if I'm not mistaken, you have been operating for the past 6 months. So, as a young entrepreneur and a new startup, did you face any financial difficulties?
I think it's a very interesting question. So we were in the operation, like you mentioned, for the last 6 months, right? And when we went into the industry, we only had a prototype level, right? So when I published all these and when it went viral, there were people who actually reached out to us. More than 30 people has reached out to us asking to support the company, right? Even that time we didn't actually have a company. We didn't have an incorporated company. So I was already part of a community called Hatch, works in Colombo. So it's an acceleration program, and they are incubator, they have office spaces. So I was already working on my other tech products, and I was building things even within the community. So they were like, hey, look, we have all the support and resources you need to support your company. So go ahead and start that as a product, and we will support you. So that was the initial conversations I had, and we could raise funds within just in about 3 to 4 weeks of time. We actually raised fund. We didn't even have a company back then, right? So we secured the fund. We closed our pre-seed funding on convertible notes with the Hatch company. And right now we are operating. We use that money to recruit people. We use that money to test our product, test the market, and go into the market, talk to companies. And right now we are on the process of closing the seed level funding as equity funding mechanism.
That's great to know that you're getting a lot of support, because not everybody is getting lucky with entrepreneurship, especially young people. They are struggling a lot with investments, but it's good to know that you have the necessary financial support as well. Now, before the program also, I think you mentioned something interesting, that you got the opportunity to go to the Microsoft headquarters in Singapore. So tell our viewers a little bit about this opportunity and what your plans are.
Sure. So back in the last October, that was the initial time we started our product as a company, right? And so when we started that, we didn't have any plans to go that beyond. It was just basically an idea. It was a prototype, but we saw the opportunity, and people saw that I am seeing the opportunity of of how it can be a potential business idea, right? And that was the time we were invited to Microsoft headquarters in Singapore. So last November, we visited Microsoft headquarters and we met them, we presented our product and we showcased them the potential opportunities that Microsoft Teams can unveil if we are to integrate that into Microsoft Teams. So for example, if you take a corporate company, they heavily use Microsoft products, right? They heavily use Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365 products, and we can, our software, we can support that ecosystem to increase the productivity during online meetings, right? So that was the initial conversations, and right now we are on the process to integrating Meeedly into Microsoft Teams as well.
That is so great to hear. So we can expect a collaboration with Microsoft and Meeedly in the near future, is it?
Well, you will be able to see the application on Microsoft Teams products as well.
All right, great. So tell me the procedure of using Meeedly. If anybody wants to get in touch with you all or use the app, how should they reach out?
Sure. So if you take Meeedly right now, we have released a very basic MVP level that you can try out, you can see how it works, you can actually get a pretty good understanding how we tackle the problem for your company, right? But if you want to use it as a commercial product for your company, you can definitely reach out to me on shenal@meeedly.com and just send us an email. We will be in touch with you. We definitely going to be in touch with you over the next couple of weeks. But if you want to use the product right now, it doesn't support to external companies. That is a product that is being developed within our community and within our company. But we will enable the product for you if you contact us and ask for the permission to enable it.
So currently there are corporates that are using this product, right?
We have some companies using it. We have about 230 to 300 people using the product, our MVP, every day for basic video conferencing that happens on Google Meet. And right now it doesn't work with Microsoft Teams, but it works with web platforms right now, right? So our approach is to get it into work with native applications so that way you don't have to worry about here and there. You can actually install the application into a Microsoft Teams video interface app, and it will work with you. So
amongst those 200 to 300 clients that you all are working with, what are the responses you received so far? Have there been any drawbacks or backlashes in the...
Sure. So right now our approach is to learn the market. We are a very early stage company, right? There are so many things that we have to learn as a company to grow to the market, right? We knew nothing about how people operate online meetings, right? And we understand the importance of 15 minutes now, right? And we are pretty sure we can help companies save a lot of time, lot of money, and help them invest that money properly across the workforce, right? So that is our learning curve we had over the time. So what we do right now, we're trying to learn it, right? And we implement that as our solution to cater that problem.
All right. So did you face any critiques in the past few months?
I think we had issues with the identifying other skills, because developing such a product, we need pretty good workforce in Sri Lanka. And as an early stage company, we had to tackle and understand who would be the ideal person to join my company. So we had pretty good workforce, but I think fundamentally that was the critical moment I faced as an entrepreneur.
All right. So, Shenal, something you mentioned in the first segment was that, the conductor of the meeting will be able to extract the statistics or data of the user engagement in the workshop. So, is that data, will people be able to extract the data from the Meeedly app?
Sure. So, right now, if you take Meeedly, we don't actually grant permission to any privacy information. For example, your video camera or anything, we can't actually access that information, right? What we do, we use existing tools given by Microsoft, Google, and Zoom to implement our ecosystem there, right? So your whatever the information you use, they are secure, first of all, right? So because you're anyway using Microsoft products, Google products, Zoom products, you are anyway bind to a high level security authority, right? So we are very secure in that. You are very secure if you are to use Meeedly, right? Second, we're not a monitoring platform. We want to support online meeting ecosystem, make it more productive, make it more engaging. That is what we're trying to do with Meeedly, right? And if you take the meetings, right, conducted through
The platform.
through the platform, right, and you can't extract anyone's personal information, right, because we filter them, we process them. You can only export or see the level of information you need to take a decision, right. It could be identifying someone who's silent in the meeting, that who need more attention over the next couple of meetings, right. That information you can export.
Right. So that information also can be exported just by the conductor.
Sure. So if you go into a corporate level, they have hierarchical level of management, right? So we talk to them about our platform. They can use the admin dashboard enabled to the company. They can, so there can be multiple people who can export the reports, right? But I'm pretty sure if you go into a company, mostly the HR people are the ones who's going to use the tool to evaluate you as an employee.
Right. So you're telling this data will be able to be shared amongst the corporate hierarchical level.
Sure, if it is
Right.
necessary for decision making, yes.
Okay. Shenal, so what are your future plans with Meeedly? What are you currently working on?
So we want to enable a better platform where people will find it very useful and maybe they find it very easy to conduct online meetings, right? People have always complained about disengagement of people, and they find it very difficult to talk to someone over the video conferencing platform. I think Meeedly would be an ideal product for that, and I see a very good value in it, because we have been talking to more than 1,000 companies over the last 6 months of time, in USA, in Australia, Germany, Europe, all over the world, right? So we have been communicating the message to them, right? There were multiple visits that came to us at our workplace as well, and we had the opportunity to present our product to one of the leading countries. So we had that pretty good high level of feedback coming through. So I think my vision for Meeedly, and I think that would be to support online meeting ecosystem, help them conduct an engaging and efficient online meeting within less time.
Great, that's good to know. And also something about the international engagement. You said that you have been able to reach out to different countries as well. Has anybody been using Meeedly outside of our country?
So our MVP level is enabled for anybody to use. So there were multiple downloads from our Google download app store. So we had multiple use of that. Out of that, there were some other companies who personally wanted to test the product. I wouldn't want to mention the names, but we had a pretty good understanding. There was a company in New York who wanted to come into a partnership with us to distribute our product to the partners they have. So they are working with Fortune 500 companies, right? So we had opportunity to pitch it to them, right? And they are pretty confident in going into a partnership with us as well.
Okay, thank you, Shenal. Well, we've reached the end of our program.
Okay.
And thank you for sharing your ideas. I'm pretty sure this is going to go places and people will be wanting to use Meeedly in the future as well, especially to monitor the engagement of people in a workshop. And as you said, the companies will be saving a lot from it.
Sure.
So I wish you all the very best with Meeedly as well, and I hope your visions would be achieved in the near future as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me in the meeting as well. Thank you.
All right, that was our episode on Business Best. We will be back again next week with another product or service that would interest you. Just in case you can watch us on air, you can always rewatch by catching us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Derana English. I'm Suzanne Shenali. Stay safe and have a good night.